Welcome back. So in previous lecture we have seen the basic principle and instrumentation of the PIXC technique. So in this lecture we are going to see the what are the various sources, what are the accelerator tube or the analyzing uh, magnet on the various component that are present in the instrument of PIXC. Okay. So the first component is the source. So the source is same as that of the our secondary and mass spectrometric technique. Okay, so there are again two types of sources, one which is required for the generation of negative ions and one which is required for the generation of positive ions. Okay, so duoplasmatron will gives you the source of positive ions. Okay, and the so for source of negative ion we are going to use the cesium ion as a source of particles. Okay, so the first we will see the duoplasmatron. So duoplasmatron again is a two-stage gaseous arc discharge source. Okay, so name is suggesting that it is discharge tube. Okay, plasma, that is again a gaseous arc, and duo means two stage. Okay, so in the first stage that it is maintained at a high pressure, relatively high pressure, which is around 3 into 10 raised to minus 2 torr. Okay, so the first stage is where the pressure of this tube is maintained at 3 into 10 raised to minus 2 torr, and the voltage is typically kept low, which is around 20 volt. Okay, voltage is kept around 20 volt. So this primary stage or first stage is uh, maintained at this high pressure and low voltage between a thermionic cathode and an intermediate electrode or the sample electrode. Okay, so this electrode is acting as a primary anode. Once that plasma is produced in the first stage, then it is guided by the strong axial magnetic field into the second discharge chamber. Okay, so once that primary cathode and anode are charged with this 20 volt and low or the high pressure of that 3 into 10 raised to minus 2 torr, the arc or the plasma is generated in the primary anode. Okay, so once that plasma is produced in the first stage, then it will pass through the strong axial magnetic field. Then it pass through the strong axial magnetic field. Okay, they pass through the strong axial magnetic field, and within that intermediate another second discharge chamber is maintained at relatively low pressure, which is 2 into 10 raised to minus 2, and high voltage, which is around 80 volt. Okay, so that plasma is created in the second stage will flow out through the second aperture or small aperture and expands into the expansion cup. Okay, so that again various types of phenomenon might be occur in the expansion cup. So once that duoplasmatron source generate the plasma, and it is compressed by using some non-uniform magnetic field. Okay, so the magnetic field which confines the electron so as to give the limit to the intense ionization of a small region around the anode aperture. Okay, so that power of that intense or the primary source is this like decided by using this expansion cup. Okay, so expansion cup get heated by the this interaction with radiations, so that heat get is dissipated by using some anode structure which is fabricated, or this anode structure is made up of from the compound which is generally having high melting point. Okay, so generally use that anode is a molybdenum anode. So the outer anode or the second anode in the second stage is the molybdenum, which is made up of the molybdenum. So the outer anode and the intermediate electrodes are made from the magnetic material. The energy or the current density obtained from this duoplasmatron source is again a 10 raised to minus 2 ampere per centimeter square. Okay, so same amount of that energy density or current density is obtained from this duoplasmatron source. Okay, but the change is there only that we are going to have the two stage compartments. So in first stage we are having high pressure and low voltage. In second compartment we are having uh, low pressure and high voltage, and that second stage we are going to use the anode as a molybdenum. Okay, so molybdenum is used for dissipating the heat which is generated due to the interaction of that plasma from coming from the primary chamber to the secondary chamber. Okay, so in order to eliminate or dissipate that heat, we are using the fabricated anode, which is sometimes made up of the molybdenum. Okay, and the last point which is important for the dioplasmatron source is the current density of the 10 raised to minus 2 ampere per centimeter square is generated into the dioplasmatron. Okay, so this is the first source, that is dioplasmatron. The second source is your cesium plus source. Okay, so cesium plus again generate the negative ions. Okay, so if we are mainly for here mainly focusing upon the electrons. Okay, electrons. So the source of negative source ion is cesium. So in this ion source, the cesium atoms are generally used to cause the sputtering of the sample, and the ions are get ionized into the gas discharge tube. Okay, so the cathode is containing small amount of the material whose beam is to be produced. Okay, so the cathode is generally made up of the material whose beam we want to as a output. Okay, so the ionized cesium ion then sputtered into the solid cathode so as to produce the negative ions. Once that negative ions are uh, produced, the negative ions are coming out from the this source are used as the particles. Okay, so once we are requiring the negatively charged primary ions, then we use the cesium as a source. Okay, or cesium as the cathode. Okay, cesium as the cathode. So this is the first component, that is sources. Second component of uh, this instrument is the accelerator tube. Okay, so the main function of accelerator is the to accelerate the ions coming from the source. Okay, so to accelerate the ions or to have the sufficient energy to the ions so that it can like eject the core electrons. Okay, so this accelerator tube is generally made up of the accelerating columns on each side of the terminals. Okay, so each column or the okay, so accelerator tube is generally made up of the circular hollow columns or the on each side of terminals. Okay, so it is made up of the columns. So each column is consisting of the hollow circular aluminum which is supported by the ceramic insulators. The central part of the tube is again a high voltage terminal. Okay, so this hollow circular pair is coated with aluminum casting, and hence it's supported by the ceramic instrument. It is spherical in shape and charged by the motor driven chain consisting of the metallic pallets insulated by the nylon. Okay, so the charges which are induced into the chain by the induction of electrode at the base of tank, this charge is then deposited on the terminal, thereby raising its potential. Okay, so high voltage is or high potential is generated at the terminal, which is supported by some insulating column which consisting of the two insulating plates. Okay, so once that happen, so the ion pass through the terminals having the more energy, which will gives the changes the negative ions into the positive ions. Okay, so the final energy of the given ions will be in the range of 1 plus q volt. Okay, so main things that we need to see in the accelerator tube is the it consisting of the hollow circular tubes having aluminum casting and ceramic insulator. So it is basically a spherical in shape and charged by the motor driven chain consisting of metallic plates. Okay, next is the analyzing magnet. Okay, So the analyzing magnet is again a somewhat that mass spectrometric magnetic analyzer tube, that wise only. So once that accelerator beam is coming out from the accelerator, then it is focused into the analyzing magnet. Okay, so the quadrupole lens which provide the outlet of the accelerator focuses that accelerated beam into the analyzing magnet through a beam profile monitor and the Faraday curve. Okay, once that analyzing magnet analyze the ions of particular mass and energy in the vertical type of accelerator, the analyzing magnet also bends the vertical beam into the horizontal plane. Okay, so the basic use of this analyzing magnet is again same as that of the magnetic analyzer tube. Okay, so we are going to like separate the ions based upon their charge and masses. Okay, so we are going to eliminate the unwanted ions, or we are going to provide the ions with sufficient energy through this analyzing magnet. So this analyzing magnet, one end of this analyzing magnet is connected to the accelerator tube. Okay, so one end of this magnet or the analyzing magnet is connected to the accelerator, so it will focuses the ions coming out from the accelerator into the analyzing magnet. So it is considered consisting of the quadrupole lens. Okay, so the output coming from the accelerator focuses this accelerated beam into the analyzing magnet. Okay, so analyzing magnet analyze the particular ions with their specific mass and energy, and once that ions are get analyzed by using their mass and energy, it get accelerated into the this analyzing chamber or the magnetic chamber, and hence we get the ions of required type for the analysis. Okay, so this is the analyzing magnet. Okay, now next is the sample compartment. Okay, so in sample compartment there are three parts. One is the scattering chamber, second one is the target holder or the sample holder, and last one is the sample or the requirement of sample. Okay, so in first, the sample compartment, the scattering chamber, which is a which must be kept in the vacuum, which is evacuated around pressure of 10 raised to minus 6 torr. Okay, so this scattering chamber is enclosed into the uh, area where the ion beam will strike on the target. Okay, so it is made up of the generally it is made up of the steel provided with the windows or the port, and is connected to the beam line by means of gate valve, so that the vacuum in the beam line and the scattering chamber would maintain separately. Okay, so scattering chamber is generally maintained at low pressure, and it is kept into the path of that ion beam coming from the accelerator tube. Okay, accelerator tube through the magnetic analyzer. Okay, so scattering chamber is present on the beam ion beam strike. Okay, so it is generally made up of from the steel which is provided with certain windows or the ports, and it is connected to the beam line. Okay, so that whole assembly must be kept into the vacuum, and interaction might alter this vacuum, so these ions are connected separately, hence the pressure of this chamber is maintained by using this beam lines. Okay, so beam line is used to maintain the vacuum inside the scattering chamber. So that is your scattering chamber. Okay, first, next is the target holder or the sample holder. So we have seen in the instrumentation that targets are generally placed at 45 degree to the beam in direction. Okay, so generally the thin targets are mounted onto the target material, which is placed into the center of chamber. Okay, so this target material is like thin plate. So on that thin plate we are going to apply this sample or place this sample, which is placed into the center of this scattering chamber. Okay, so the target ladder which can be arranged vertically, and it is kept at certain angle, that is 45 degree centigrade. Okay, 45 degree angle. Since the target chamber in the this technique is highly evacuated. So pressure is of around 10 raised to minus 6. Okay, 10 raised to minus 6 torr, this much low pressure is we are going to use into this highly evacuated chamber. So it is preferably to prepare the rotating target holder so that many of the different sample can be loaded at the same time, and one must be in the position to place a particular target facing the beam by manipulating the target holder from the outside. Okay, so the basic requirement for the target holder is, once we have like maintain this much low pressure. Okay, so for generation of this much low pressure we are going to use huge amount of energy. Okay, so if we are investing this much amount of energy, then we must incorporate as many as samples onto the this target holder so that we can analyze the as many as sample within the single take. Okay, so this much pressure, low pressure is useful for the analysis of multiple samples. Okay, so if we apply only one sample at a time, then it will be costlier for the analysis process. Okay, so it is generally, or the requirement of instrument is fulfilled in such a way that the target holder is making in the rotating way so that the sample which are placed at the different places can be determined within the single take. Okay, so the target holder assembly is usually in the ladder type mode of stainless steel with the equidistance hole onto the it. Okay, so we might be use the circular disc type target holder, or the some ladder type of stainless steel type strips which are having the holes into it. Okay, so the target holder is of two types. Okay, circular or the ladder type. So the next is the sample and the requirement of samples. So the samples which are generally used into the this technique are usually the self-supporting, or they are sputtered or coated with the thin foil or some thick backing containing no detectable amount of element of the interest.